It was probably one of the most anxiety-ridden, scary days of my life that I could tell you in recent history. I couldn't tell you anything in the last 10 years, honestly, that scared the shit out of me more than that day, seeing that red just going down and down. My manager was like, "Are you sure that you want to keep what you have?" I was like, "You can't cheat on your own project just because you see it going down. If I'm going down, I'm the captain of the ship. I just have to sink with the Titanic right now. But am I going to die or am I going to live? I don't know. Is the boat sinking or is it not?" It didn't sink. Thank fucking God.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unchained, your no-hype resource for all things crypto. I'm your host, Laura Shin, author of The Cryptopians. I started covering crypto 9 years ago, and as the senior editor at Forbes, was the first mainstream media reporter to cover cryptocurrency full-time. This is the July 16th, 2024 episode of Unchained. Polkadot is the original and leading Layer 0 blockchain with over 2,000 plus developers. And the Polkadot 2.0 upgrade will be a massive accelerator for the ecosystem, making it faster, more secure, and adaptable. Perfect for GameFi and DeFi to build, grow, and scale. Join the community at polkadot.network/ecosystem/community. Today's guest is rapper, songwriter, and mother of mother, Iggy Azalea. Welcome, Iggy.
Hi.
In late May, you launched a coin, Mother, that has gained a lot more traction than other celeb coins launched around the same time. But before we get into all the details around Mother, how did you even get into crypto in the first place?
My little brother, who isn't so little, he's almost 24, but he's who really, I would say, got me on chain. Because I've been interested in it and I know what it is and have taken some casual interest just as a celebrity being approached, especially in the big NFT boom of 2021 and all of those endorsements by celebrities or celebrity NFT projects. I started to look into crypto a lot more. And then, of course, you had everybody buying Bitcoin even before that. So I was aware of what it was. But wasn't aware of what meme coins were or trading or the way that any of that worked. My brother is who got me really interested in that. And to be honest with you, he's almost 50-50 with me nowadays with my coin Mother, because I just lean on him and I utilize him and his opinion like quite a lot since he's been in the universe for a lot longer than I have. But he's really the person that pitched it to me and made it exciting and got me involved and got me looking at what was going on and asking him questions about everything. And then I kind of got pushed into the pool and went swimming sooner than I thought I would with my coin. But
yeah, and what about it?
The thing that I think is so interesting about meme coins is just memes in general have always interested me. I read a lot of books about them actually, because as a celebrity, I feel like celebrities partake in attention economy, and meme coins are based a lot on attention economy too, obviously. So they're two things that I feel already culturally have like a cross parallel that interests me. And memes, particularly, like I said, I've read books about what they are in terms of a unit of culture or how they transfer or what makes a meme. And this is always something that I've been very interested in. For me, in regard to like trying to create viral moments for my musical career. I'm from the YouTube era, I like to say, in regard to my music. I became famous via Twitter and my music videos going viral on YouTube. So virality has always been something that I've paired with my ability to be successful as something that are two parallels. It's not that way for all artists, but for me, I've always had success with that and spend a lot of time, sometimes even more time, creating the viral campaign for the song than I would even for the music, because it's that important to me. And so when my brother started talking to me and showing me meme coins and how they work on attention economy and these sorts of things, obviously fundamentally there are other bigger things at play here. We acknowledge that. But in regard to the meme and attention economy, I felt like I actually think I understand this pretty well. And I've had a lot of success with this in the past. I know how this operates. And yeah, we're talking about memes maybe in a more traditional sense of a Pepe or, a meme coin or a token being an animal or an illustration and not a human. But a meme I always define as is just a sticky unit of culture. It can be anything. I even think that language is memeable in that regard too. Or you could talk about slang and say that fundamentally slang is almost like a meme once it gets onto the internet, and in that form of visual, then it becomes one. So and I do that a lot with songwriting as well. You can everything it kind of is in this reality of virality with me and stickiness. So I just felt like I really wanted to get involved in it because I love a challenge. I love to be a first mover. I love to do anything that there's not a lot of women doing yet. That always makes the challenge even harder for me. And I was like, oh man, I really want to get in this space. I haven't seen anybody do it right, particularly that's famous too. And that made it even more appealing to me, where I just was like, I really want to try to crack this and see if I can really do it, like really do it. I want to try to make a blue chip project. Of course, I haven't done that yet, but it's still my goal and it always will be. And going in, you want to have the biggest goals, right? So I just saw it as a gigantic challenge, something I felt I could organically be good at. I've already stopped making music. I retired about a year ago now and have been doing startups, 2 projects in particular that I spend most of my time developing creatively, and had done a lot of work already on the creative campaigns for those and rollouts for marketing. So I had a lot of experience in that regard too already, kind of starting to think about things beyond my brand of Iggy and making them viral, and really enjoying and feeling like that has been very fulfilling to me creatively. And so the meme token and the concept of that just seemed like a way I could continue that would be almost even more fun, or as fun as music, because doing it on a portal with products, it's fun. It's a challenge to make a product interesting. It's a challenge to make a product that's functional viral. It's not as easy. It's a lot easier to do that when you have a catchy song or you're a celebrity or you got your booty in it. It's like, it's way easier to market that than to market like a website or a functional product or a phone plan. How do you make that viral? It's hard. So I had so much fun trying to like piece together those puzzles. I felt like the degen community of crypto and meme coins and the silliness of it all, honestly, is something that really attracted me too, where I felt like it would be nice to have a project that I could focus on now that I'm wrapping up my creative of these build outs for these startups, that maybe is a little bit more tongue in cheek, a bit more silly than what I've been doing for the last year. And it's definitely been that. So I love crypto. It's stressful having a token. There's a lot of learning and a lot of stress. One day I feel like is a week in normal Web 2 world, in crypto world. But I'm so glad that I did it, honestly. Like, it's just been so fun. I haven't felt like I've had this much fun, even as much fun as I've had with my other startups, Dreamboat and Unreal. This feels a lot more similar to when I started my musical career and the chaos of it all. And it's just, I don't sleep a lot, but I feel like I have a lot of energy. It's brought me a lot of joy. I'm having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very crypto. And you sort of alluded to this earlier. You said that you kind of ended up having to do it earlier than you thought. So originally, as far as I understand, the way this happened was you had some contact with the person that most people believe to be a scammer in crypto, Sahil Arora. So tell us, like what your contact was, and then how that led you to launch your coin, and also why you chose the name Mother.
Well, I didn't personally have any contact firsthand, but my team did with this guy. So yeah, I had started talking with my team about the fact that I was really interested in meme coins, and that my brother's been staying with me all summer, and I wanted to start to understand the world more in terms of, if I launch, what do I need to have in terms of dotted I's and crossed T's here in a project? What would make this solid? I've got ideas in regard to Mother as a concept of virality. I'd thought a lot about that. And so I asked my kind of broader team if they had any contacts or people that they knew that we could talk to that maybe could help me kind of get this together, really from a dev standpoint. Obviously, I'm not going to sit there and hit launch on a token. So I was looking more so for a team that could help with those technical elements for me that I already had creatively most of what I wanted to do, but didn't have that together. And that was the team that I was trying to use my normal team to go out and find the right pieces for this. Unfortunately, they got in touch with Sahil because there was a common person that he did business with that someone on my team knew as well. And so they had a conversation. There was some weird telegram with a pre-launch of my token, even though I'm not in business with this person. We saw it right away. And I tweeted out, like, this is not got anything to do with me before it even launched. But the kind of like curveball that I got thrown was that this scammer pushed back on it and was like, no, well, she's lying. She's joking, you guys. This token's happening still. So I'm kind of like, oh my God, well, I don't know what to do, because I actually have legitimate plans and an amazing concept and things that I want to do in this space. And I can't have my name in this space in this regard, even though I've already come out and say this isn't me. You know, we've seen it with celebrities as well, even now, where I think a lot of them do legitimately get hacked, some. And even those ones, people are so paranoid that they're like, but did they really, you know? And I don't want that following me in a space that I'm genuinely interested in. So I just felt like I needed to get a team together as quickly as I could and launch my token before this scammer could launch theirs. I had a 24-hour deadline on something that I thought I would probably attempt to launch, honestly, around August, late July. I wouldn't have now in this market, but that was my original plan, was to wrap up the business initiatives that I already had and then begin something new and fun for me, like a passion project almost. So I got kicked in the deep end to try to save my reputation, I guess, so to speak. But I do think, and I am a big believer in kind of like stars aligning or those sorts of things in life, where I think if something's just going that's out of your control, just go with it. So in that moment, I just felt like, I don't know really, but I'm going to jump in and just do it. And I'm glad that I did launch when I did, because it's been crazy and wild and very on brand and chaotic for crypto and for me. But yes, it was unexpected. It was a pre-launch, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. The stealth launch.
The stealth launch. Yeah.
So people have really respected your hustle. You've been doing these Twitter spaces, you have the Telegram group, you've been talking about like other plans that you have, as you mentioned, you hired at least one developer, maybe even a team. And then I've seen you talk about things like mother merchandise stores, integration with Unreal Mobile, which I guess is your mobile telecommunications company. And then the Dream Vault one, I just noticed you're going to have crypto payments, but I don't know if there's more to Dream Vault that has to do with crypto. But can you tell us generally about like your strategy or your plans, like these business ventures and how they relate to Mother?
Yeah, I mean, really my ultimate plan is just that I would love to integrate my token and in general crypto, particularly Solana, obviously as a chain. I would love to integrate it into as much business as I possibly can and give my token as much functionality as I can, although I approach it like a traditional meme coin, I suppose I'd say, in that it's more entertainment based as the forefront. But in any way that I can bring retail and bring any incentive to people that aren't necessarily in the crypto space to want to know more or to want to be, on chain, I'm going to do that throughout my products. So with Unreal, I thought that that would be a good opportunity to integrate my token and also Sol and other crypto payment, just so that you can have your phone plan if you'd like it. We use AT&T's service providers, and I think to be able to pay in crypto is pretty cool. And then on top of that, with Dream Vault, that is a gifting platform. We have 17 million product SKUs that are integrated into this social site that you can buy, or any link that you want, you can actually copy paste and purchase that, or gift it to somebody else. And you can use crypto or Mother. Specifically for Mother, what we've decided to do as more incentive and like something better for our token holders is to give a 10% discount on all purchases site-wide that they use the Mother token for. So I think it's awesome. You can go and buy Apple headphones if you wanted to. You could buy a Samsung TV. You could buy your lotion, anything that you could think of on the internet. You could buy a Louis Vuitton handbag. I think it's cool to be able to offer a discount via, your own token. But I just look to any business that I'm using in future. I want to try to integrate the Mother token and try to really like make it something that is more appealing to people that may not be engaged in the community side of crypto so much yet. Like I'm interested in using it as a bridge in terms of integration to onboard the normies, as we call them. But also always to add utility. I think there's always a big debate about that with the meme coin space, isn't there? Where they're like, too much utility makes it boring. We want traditional meme coin. And then there are people that are like, well, this is a meme coin. It has no value. What's its utility? So for me, I'm still figuring out, trying to find the balance with that to make everybody happy, that it's still fun. It still has a traditional meme coin approach to community and those things, but that I can softly or quietly almost in a non-disruptive way, I suppose, which is funny because crypto is the opposite of that. Integrate for normies to give more value. Something that I see as a question a lot from regular people that aren't in crypto, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, is, but why? It's just a picture of something I don't understand. And so in that way, regard, I think utility or integration, even just as a payment, makes it make sense for them a lot more, and is easier for them to get their head around the why question that sometimes is hard to understand when you're not smack dab in the middle of that space culturally, to where you are able to understand the value of these other things that are more intangible. So I just want to, I want to integrate and make it make sense easier to onboard here. That's kind of my thinking with the retail perspective. I'd like to go even bigger. I mean, I have stuff in the works right now to make a Mother Ventures fund, and I'd love to be able to then move on to identifying businesses and different other projects that are not meme coin projects, that I can invest in to open up more of this onboarding space. I know there's a lot of things like TipLink or things like that that are in the beginning stages that I think will help onboard a lot too. And I want to be involved in just beyond my own token, anything in the space that I think is going to help to be that bridge. I'm really interested always in being first on the scene or trying to be in the narrative in any way. So I want to be in the narrative beyond just my token in the space.
Okay. Yeah. So it feels like you have kind of the business side. But then you also announced this partnership with DWF Labs as your market maker. So I guess they're more like around the markets trading side.
Yeah, we have Wintermute, who are our market maker, and now
right.
DWF too. We have two. Really, my reason for that is because I just think that they're two market makers that operate in entirely different styles of doing business, and also focusing on two kind of like different markets. Really, DWF is like has such a strong force in really the Asian marketplace particularly, and I really value obviously their expertise beyond market making, just in regard to making introductions to influencers, different places that I might want to look at doing business beyond exchanges and things like that, that it's very difficult to break into the Asian market when you're in America and you're not on Weibo, or you don't know where to go or who is the right person here? How do I tap into this market that I think is so crucial? And so I think that DWF is really somebody that I think is going to be very pivotal for me in regard to being able to enter that space successfully. And of course, Wintermute, they're just amazing. And we all know what they are and who they are and how they are. And I wanted to make sure I had a market maker first and foremost that's respected and that I think could kind of stand beside me and let other exchanges particularly to kind of like breathe that sigh of relief that they back me. And that's important when I'm a celebrity coin, and most of the celebrity coins are scams. So I think there's a lot of trepidation sometimes with them, where they're like, a lot of people will be like, I really want to do business. And yes, we have meme coins, but this would be the first celebrity coin, and they see it differently. I don't like to think of myself as a celebrity coin, although, okay, I am one, I guess, by default. I can't change or unfamous myself, but I try to just approach everything, obviously, as a meme coin. I want to compete with the meme coins, not the celebrity coins. I think anybody would feel that way when all the other coins in your space are mostly all scams. It's like, I don't want to be lumped in with them. It's not great for optics. Also, it's not a fun race to even win if you're winning, because there's nobody really legitimately trying to run the race and not cheat at the race. So what did you really win? Like for me, my focus is to try to just run with the other meme coins. But when it comes to the sorts of conversations, of course, yes, I'm a celebrity coin. And so I need these sorts of like players and backup into regard to my business and bulking my team with respectable people that can mean something of significance to other people in the space. So that was why I really wanted to choose to be in business with Wintermute.
But so the mother meme, we didn't actually go into this. Like, why mother?
Oh, why mother? Well, because mothers, I think when you're thinking about memes, obviously memes are a unit of culture that kind of like is sticky, has stickiness, has something that people can connect to. And you want to make something simplified as a concept that everybody can relate to, and everybody has a mother. And
but like, so dog with hat or Doge, like there's a very clear like image that we come up with.
Yes.
But
yeah, exactly.
But with mother, I don't know what is the meme exactly.
The meme exactly is just, it's really my butt, to be honest. in different scenarios, it's what it seems to organically be now. But to be honest with you, when I put it out, because memes, here's the thing with memes, or my approach to it. You can try to make the perfect meme. You can try to draw the perfect cartoon or a dog with a hat, right? And it's so specific and you want it to work. And sometimes no matter how much you push it, it just doesn't resonate with people, right? And it doesn't transfer, it doesn't go viral. And so for me, I wanted to think about more so language as a meme, which I spoke a little bit about earlier. I think that memes being conceptual more than just beyond visual, right? You're talking about visually a meme, a dog with a hat. That is the meme. But memes are conceptual as well, in my opinion. And so in my opinion, the memeable thing is the concept of mother, or the word mother, the language of it, and the concept of what that is in regard to, there's a million characters of funny mothers, sexy mothers, crazy ones, whatever, in film that we all know, in pop culture that we all know, our own mother and our own relative experience to that. And so I felt like I want to use this as the concept as well. Obviously, I am a mother, cool. But I want to use it. And when I pitched it, sort of publicly pitch, and went out and released it, I sort of wanted to leave it so open-ended that I could leave it to the internet to decide what about that exactly was the meme, if that makes sense. I know it's a little backwards. That's how I think about it. Because in my opinion, if you stick with one thing so hard and it doesn't work, then your whole concept's dead in the water. It's best to try a few different things within the concept. I had some memes that went out that were, mother of dragons memes, or mothers, just different mothers in film. Then there's my butt, and then mother memeing that in regard to, like, I guess I'd say it's almost like a sexy mother or butt, and they keep getting smothered by it and being like, mommy or whatever. That seems to have gone the most viral. Obviously, I'm sure we know why. Cool, I have a big butt. But really on my initial launch in that week, I just threw a lot of things at the wall that worked within the theme of that to see what was going to be the meme, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah,
the concept used to be that right now, but honestly, we still have discussions about this within the community on our Telegram about, is that going to be the meme that takes us there? Is it going to be different variations of butt memed? Is it something else? The other day they were talking about, is it going to be peach? How do we, so it's still something that I think could change. I don't get to control it. Obviously, it's the community or what happens to go viral. But if we had to put it down to a finite thing of what is the meme of mother, I suppose it's a meme of my butt in sweatpants that keeps getting other characters or things, put onto it, or the butt is in different scenarios. The butt seems to be the thing, this one image of my butt.
Well, actually, so on that note, you used to have an OnlyFans, but you closed it and you sent all your followers to your Telegram group. And I just wondered, first of all, like why you did that. But then second, I've heard you talk about how, for instance, like you were making so much money from your OnlyFans. And so I was curious if you're making more from Mother. That's first.
No.
But then, no, okay. But then also just generally, I wondered like what you learned about cultivating community from the OnlyFans and how that's like transferring over to, working with Mother?
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't like to hear it in a way, because people think about OnlyFans and they think that it's so sexually deviant, and a lot of it is, obviously, but a lot of it isn't. And so for me to say what I'm going to say right now and say it's really not that different, I'm sure a lot of people would like to think they're a lot different to the people that go on OnlyFans, but surprise, you're not. You're not, at least not on mine, OnlyFans was different in its learning experience for me, because I already have experience cultivating communities. Obviously, I have been a musician for a long time that was successful, and the way that I had success with that was from cultivating a core fan base. How you do it is obviously different. It's really through touring and then online community as well. This doesn't have the in-person element to it in regard to OnlyFans, and neither does memecoin necessarily. So to open up that, originally why I started that was because I was going to be doing a multimedia, this big coffee table book that I wanted to make, and I wanted to post things onto that channel that were like sexy images that I wouldn't have been able to do on Instagram. And I did that for a long time. I ended up getting really sick and not being able to complete that. But what I did learn was that a lot more of my people that I would talk to on their everyday just seemed like they wanted regular human interaction or friendship more than they wanted, what would I call it? Like, they didn't want like pro-cro transactional relationship, really. And I think the same for crypto communities, and developing that like individual one-on-one time of how to individually talk to people and create a connection or proximity that's of value to the point where it's beyond monetary. Does that make sense? Like OnlyFans is like that a lot too, where I'll get messages even before I shut down my page from people on Instagram that would say like, I'm so sorry I couldn't pay for my subscription this month, but I love talking to you so much and you make me laugh so much, and I feel so bad that you might think that I don't want to talk to you. So I wanted to reach out to you here to just say that that's what happened with me. But I'm here and I love you. I love talking to you. I miss you. You're so funny. Like, I hope you're good. And when I would see a lot of those messages, I started to realize like, okay, this is really just more about friendship connection, maybe that people want to have, being part of something, proximity. And so I feel that I've taken most of what I've learned there about that, or how to make something have a value beyond monetary. I think that's what keeps people in meme coin communities when the chart is bad, that it's got something intangible that's valuable in that regard. And so I've tried my best to build that out and to copy that formula into Telegram and individually talk to people, respond with my voice notes, which I have literally thousands of, and just get as much one-on-one connection and then gather group connection, and try to always, like, what would I say? Like, try to create spaces where I'm in it, but that I'm joining them together too, and creating their own then cross friendships, and just try to be that person that creates community. I did learn a lot of that from OnlyFans, but also from my musical career. But no, it is nowhere near as lucrative to me in crypto. And how much money have I made so far of crypto? Zero. And I know everyone's going to hear that and be like, you liar. I swear, I wish I was lying. If I'd made any money, I'd love to tell you guys about it. And I think I will make a lot of money, to be fair, but I haven't yet. I kind of like obviously got into it and everything went as crazy as it did. And I'm not like pulling a profit or anything out of it. I'm going to play the long game here. And then everything's kind of like came crashing down. And so, yeah, no, I have not made any money yet. I'm sure I will. So I don't really want to compare it to OnlyFans right now, because I would say OnlyFans works the opposite way, where when you get on OnlyFans, your first month is going to be the most that you ever probably net. And then from then on, how much you make really depends. When you're not showing a bunch of stuff like I wasn't, then it depends on how much you can foster a community in that individual, right? To keep people subscribing, like I said, create an intangible thing that people are coming back for. And you'll start to have your level of what that is. It's also an attention game. OnlyFans, in my experience, isn't really about what you show or don't show. That does not change what you end up earning on the platform, surprisingly. what I've noticed is that it's also an attention economy outside of that platform. If you are in the press, if you're going viral for something else on any other platform or in the news, or I went to a basketball game, those are the months where I will simply make 10 times more on that site just because people see me and they start to want to talk to me more. And when I'm not in the press, then I will earn less. It's not in relation to what I have on or have off. It's about attention economy too. And people would probably be surprised to know that it really is. And so in that regard, I think that with crypto, it's sort of the opposite. If you're really playing the long game, like you want a blue chip project, right? Like, okay, a lot of people could say you earn the most in the beginning and then people rug pull and they dump it and meme coins don't last long. Well, I don't want to be a meme coin like that. I want to try to make something that's the best, right? That's what I came here to try to do. And so I would say in that regard, it works the opposite, where I don't think you really are going to get the payoff in a meme coin until way later when you're at whatever market cap, you ultimately want to be at, $1 billion more, whatever it is. But I'm not here to take initial profit or early profit from that coin. So it's worked opposite for me. I think that I will make more money off of meme coin or crypto as a space eventually, but I haven't made any money yet. Not yet.
Okay. Yeah. Because there was an interview that I saw where you were saying that you were making so much money from the OnlyFans that you didn't want to reveal what it was.
Yeah, I don't. I never will. I just think it's so tacky to do that. Like, I think it's tacky to do that. I also think it's dangerous, especially with something particularly like OnlyFans, where it's like that is a site that people can misconstrue, especially women, where they think, oh, I'm going to go and show more and I'll earn so much. Like I said, it's attention economy. It doesn't even work that way.
Yeah.
The predatory space. So is crypto in ways too, I suppose, where wherever there's a lot of money to be made, it's can be predatory, but especially in a space like that where there are people that are going to be predatory to women and say, well, to do this, that's how you're going to make all that money. Like, I don't really want to advertise a number amount. And then they say, oh, okay, well, I heard she's doing this, so let me go do that and make money. And it's like, you probably won't earn as much as me because it is attention economy and I'm more famous, first of all. So it would even be a bad advertisement for you as a reason to get into this. I don't want to advertise for a site that I just happen to be on to then like filter traffic through to you in ways then can be predatory, like, which is another reason why I'm just have always been like, beyond the fact that I think it's overwhelmingly tacky to talk about exactly what you earn.
Right.
I think it's just not helpful. It would do more damage than good for me to tell people that number, because people can hear that and then they're going to do what they want with it. And it's like, I really don't want to be the reason that you decided to, I just don't want.
Yeah, totally makes sense. So in a moment, we're going to talk about her beef with Vitalik, but first a quick word from the sponsors who make this show possible. Polkadot is the original and largest Layer 0 blockchain with over 2,000 plus developers. And the anticipated Polkadot 2.0 upgrade will be a massive accelerator for the ecosystem, upgrading the infrastructure with 8 times higher transaction throughput and twice as fast block times, perfectly tailored core time for the needs of every protocol, trustless bridges internally and into Ethereum, Cosmos, Near, Binance Smart Chain, and revised tokenomics and the implementation of a token burn to reduce inflation. Perfect for GameFi and DeFi to build, grow, and scale with one of the most active crypto communities in the space. Polkadot recently announced a partnership with Mythical Games, bringing top games like NFT Rivals with over 650,000 players and 43 million transactions to pave the way for GameFi and the Polkadot ecosystem. Get your Web3 ideas to market fast with economics that work for you. Think big, build bigger with Polkadot. Join the community at polkadot.network/ecosystem/community. Back to my conversation with Iggy. So crypto VC Chris Berniski tweeted that if Mother breaks out into sustainable value, it would be the mother of this cycle's celebrity experimentation.
I would love that.
And yes, and as I'm sure you know, Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, tweeted that he was feeling, quote, quite unhappy with this cycle's celebrity experimentation so far. Then he wrote financialization as a means toward an end, and then he had a little barf emoji. And he talked about how like he thought it would be worthy if the end was more around like healthcare, open source software, art, etc. So you responded with a meme of you breastfeeding an infant Vitalik, and you had the caption, "He was just hangry." Yeah. What did you mean by your tweet?
I mean, obviously, I'm just messing around. Again, attention economy. I'm just gonna make a meme that I know is gonna stir shit. And what do I mean by he's just hangry? I just mean mother's milk. Like, he doesn't mean what he's saying, guys. He does mean what he's saying, obviously, and that's his business. I really don't have a beef with him, to be honest.
But do you have a response to his criticism where he
I mean, we have two different viewpoints. Honestly, we really do. Like, I think that here's the thing that I think, and like, let me compare it to kind of like Web 2 world, right? And the internet in general. The internet obviously was created with real functionality in mind, right? Of why we needed it and what it was utilized for. And then culture got involved and it became its own other world of things that are not necessarily based on utility or honorable morale things, right? It's just for the sake of entertainment, or you could say some things on the internet are, yeah, to make money for the sake of money or whatever. Culture is that way. Pop culture is that way. But I think that in all honesty, I think that you need both of those things to have balance on the internet, or for that to have exploded into what it is, to where it's now something that's just culturally part of our day to day that we all utilize. And some people utilize it for entertainment and some people utilize it for utility. Probably most young people utilize it now for both things. Essentially, you have to, right? And I think about it the same way in regard to crypto or Web3, where I'm like, we do need those sorts of people like Vitalik that make things that have real moral purpose or functionality or utility. But in the same regard, I think that we need legitimate pop culture to be incorporated into that. And we do need the silliness of it. And we do need the dumb for the sake of being dumb. And we do need things that are going to ultimately be the fun or entertainment for it that keeps it going. I think you need to have like both this yin and the yang in the space for it to truly be kind of like that ultimate dream that everybody wants, where crypto is full retail and it just is, and everybody knows and everybody uses it. And I want that too. I get the dream. But I think you need both things really for the dream. That's why, to be honest with you, I think that the whole like meme coin or like Solana, the cool chain, versus Ethereum, the old boring chain. I'm like, I actually, to be honest with you, fucking hate that narrative. I think it's detrimental to both sides, that particular narrative, because you actually need both things to work. And that's not to say that you need celebrity coins. I don't think that you need necessarily celebrity coins, but I think that you need silly pop culture. I think that you need those things within the space for them to work. And ultimately, I do think that, yes, celebrities can be an easy way to onboard culture into the general population. And I think that's why there's always that like hope of the one that would bridge it with a celebrity token. I don't think there is one token or celebrity that will ever just pop it. I think that things obviously work a lot slower than that. And I actually do understand what he's saying about the fact of like a token of celebrity for the fact of a token. I think sometimes that can not exactly fit in the space too, where there's not a concept behind it. I guess for me, that's why I've tried my best with Mother to create a concept that's not necessarily 100% just about me or Iggy coin. Like, I'm trying to have a more broader appeal here, or more broader meme, or slot myself more into meme coin in that regard of Mother and not Iggy coin. And I do get that. Yes, celebrity can be very gross. He's not wrong about that. And there is some parts of like the concept of celebrity coin that are a little bit rooted in narcissism and gross in that regard. But for me, I have to push and play and stir shit because that's what I'm going to do. But I think he's not totally wrong, but he's not totally right. And especially with me or my coin, I was like, well, hold on a minute. You know, like, we already have a charity initiative. We've already given over 200 grand to it. Like, we are doing a lot of those things. So ease up here a little, but.
And what is the charity initiative?
It's Crumb and Sanctuary. They're a wildlife sanctuary.
Oh, the koala thing. Oh, yeah, okay. I saw that, but I never really fully figured out what that was.
Yeah. So since day one, I've actually worked with Crumb and Sanctuary, which is a wildlife sanctuary in Australia, since about 5 years ago. I started to get more heavily involved with the Australian bushfires. Koalas are actually endangered and they're going to be extinct in the wild by 2050 if we don't start vaccinating them from chlamydia, which is the perfect degen. funny story, right? Koalas have chlamydia, but they do. And yeah, they can't produce in the wild because of that. So it's really expensive to vaccinate. And we've developed these vaccine programs that have only just started to kind of roll out this year. And so that was something that I automatically thought would be the perfect thing to just segue into this coin, because it's silly, but it's real. And when you think about DGen community and then telling them, like, hey, koalas have chlamydia, let's save them, it kind of fits perfectly and becomes this big joke. But it's actually something that I'm really passionate about, that I've been working on for a long time with Currumbin Sanctuary.
I actually feel like it fits with the mother theme in the sense that it's like taking care of their health. Like it's like being a mother to the koala.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's taking care of them. It's saving them. It's amazing. It does fit in. I'm Australian, obviously, koalas. And now we have our little like koala profile pictures. People have been getting koalified, which some people are like, is this an NFT? I'm like, no, it's just, you can become a community moderator and you get to ask questions in spaces. There are other little perks like that, but people really love our community artist. He draws these like in real time meme reactions to stuff with koalas. And now it's become this qualification, being qualified, weird thing. Yeah, I love the koalas, but that's been our charity initiative from kind of day one for us. So I have always tried to incorporate those things. And I do get a lot of what Vitalik is saying. I do understand it. I just think that I wish that he was a bit more nuanced or open to both sides of the perspective of like, what good could this potentially bring? I think celebrity coins can bring as much fun as traditional meme coins if they're done in the right way. But I think that it's definitely hard to find people that want to do them the right way. I'll say that. It's hard, yeah.
So I did also want to ask about something that you referenced earlier, which is, at the time that we're recording, Mother is near an all-time low. It's down about 65% from a month ago. It's at about a $35 million market cap and had hit a high before of 225 million. So why do you think the price has fallen, and what do you plan to do to try to get it back up?
Yeah, I mean, the price falling, I think, is a two-part thing. Obviously, the market is falling fine. I still think that we're below our market cap of where we really should be, just following the market, if I'm being honest. I think everybody knows that. And I wish I had have acted sooner on trying to like course correct on that, but everybody that I had advising me was sort of like, it's just the market, don't worry. And I'm like, well, I think we're a little below where just the market would be. I think if we were just the market, we'd probably be in the 80s or 90s as our bottom, as our floor. This is our floor, what you're talking about here. We've been in kind of like the 30s is our floor that we keep bouncing around up and down on for the last month, unable to break out of that. And for me, I really think that a lot of the things I have in the pipeline with Dream Vault, I hope will really catapult us out of that. I know a lot of people talk about exchange listings, and yes, I have those coming too, but I think I'm trying to be weary of becoming a meme token that's announcements are just exchanges. I think to really break out of that, there has to be something bigger, obviously, to buy into. And for me, it's always been that Dream Vault will be an amazing utility for the coin, in conjunction to the fact that I've now got my Mother Knows Best podcast, and that's going to start at the end of August. So my game plan is that with the launch of Dream Vault and all of the digital marketing going into that, in combination with my Mother Knows Best podcast and us having Attention Economy weekly in a major press cycle like that those two things together can obviously, with exchanges, to lift us and break us kind of out of that real resistance.
Just to understand, so for Dream Vault, you're going to allow payments in Mother, but are there other ways that you're going to use Mother? Or
of course, but not ones that I can't come onto the podcast and tell you all my gigantic plans, but there are a lot of other plans happening in regard to more integration. But these two things that I can publicly talk about right now, obviously, I think will help shift things a lot. And then, of course, now that we have DWF, we're going to start to get heavily into marketing, into crypto in the Asian community and spaces. So I hope that will be something as well that will kind of become almost like a second first impression, where I think the token is yet to be discovered by a lot of markets, particularly the Asian market. And so we really are starting to game plan now with DWF about how we can actually make that first initial impact even within that market, because for a lot of people, they don't even have awareness about what the token is there. And so it's sort of a parallel approach where it's like first meeting of this market properly and doing proper marketing initiative there. And then within a space that I think is a little fatigued right now from celebrity tokens in general, and fatigued as a market in general, with everything being kind of like very bearish at the moment. I hope market picking up and then me having these two humongous things and still being here, still developing community will be enough to like push us through and out of that bottom. But also we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
In crypto, right? You can do everything that you plan, and I can give every, you know, obviously there'll be exchanges and things like that that will keep coming, but you can do everything right and it's still meme culture. It still can just not stick or work as a meme and just can still not work. So I can only try my best. That's immediately what I can talk about that I have planned to, you know, move it forward. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming to try to be the person that has to have all the answers to that. And I think it would be overwhelming for someone if they were new in the space or not. It's a lot to have on your shoulders to have to almost like control a market cap that you really can't control, you know? But I will say, I think I feel very confident that that's going to kind of like bounce up like a ball underwater, only because I've seen so many of the other tokens charts that have been successful, and we've all seen them have huge pullbacks and then sit kind of accumulating quite low and before they like blast off into space. I mean, can I control if we blast off into space? No. Can I guarantee that my chart is a whiff a chart and not just a chart that ends up tanking? No, I can't control that, obviously. I'll do my very fucking best. But I think for me, the biggest thing about that, honestly, the double-edged sword is the initial like interest in it being a celebrity token, or people kind of buying in, expecting a rug pull and trying to just double money, and then figuring out that it's not and not knowing really what comes next for that. That's the double-edged sword for being a celebrity token in that regard. And I think for now, I'm like meeting some of the resistance or the downside of being a celebrity in the space and having to battle my way through what that looks like. And I don't really know. I just know I'm going to keep fucking going. And I do think that it's going to improve drastically. I feel really good about it. But like I said, anything can happen. I can never promise that we will end up at 1 billion like whiff or like bonk, but I'd love for my chart to just be indicative of something like that. I do have a lot of behind the scene plans. I don't just wake up in the morning and hope it moves, you know, but I also do. But I do wake up in the morning and hope the chart is different, but yeah, so we'll see, but there are plans.
Yeah. And I also wanted to ask you earlier, when you said that you haven't made any money from this, like I actually don't know what percentage of the supply you currently own, but I was curious about that. And then I wanted to ask you about the Bubble Maps tweet where they said, quote, "We found huge insider activity on Mother. Insiders bought 20% of the supply at launch before Iggy made the announcement, and they already dumped $2 million." So
yeah, I never dumped $2 million, and no, that was crazy and made me so annoyed, because since then we've obviously had Dex Screener and obviously Wintermute and a million other people look into all of this before. Dex Screener gives us a 99% rating, you know, like Wintermute not doing business with us until they had gone through every single wallet ever known to mankind and made up their own decision that obviously we are quite legit. But when I launched the token, I bought off the free market like everybody else. I bought in around, I believe it was about 1.2 million that I managed to like snag and buy in at. And I kind of sat around until that market cap myself, because it was my first time launching a token. And as soon as I launched it, it just went so absolutely bananas. I didn't even know what to do. I hadn't even tweeted out, you know, the contract address yet. And everybody was sniping it and going nuts. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. My brother was like, wait until it might die back down then. And I was like, no, I don't think it's dying back down. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We need to buy our own token. Like, I only have so much money sitting here in a crypto wallet to even buy in at. So when I bought in with what I bought in, a few $1,000s at 1.2, I think I managed to get, it's about 3% of the supply overall. Right now, I have all of that, 100% of it with DWF and then with Wintermute. So I've burnt a lot of that too. I probably burn about, I want to say about 250,000, maybe 300,000 has got burnt off we initially would burn whenever celebrities would rug pull. We'd do a big burn celebration in the beginning. But there's just too many rug pulls.
And so you just burn your own money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Earned my own money and then gave the rest of my percent. I think it ended up being ultimately, it's a little under 3 after burning that I was left with that I then sent to DWF and to Wintermute. But yeah, no, I got sniped a lot upon launch, kind of didn't really know what the hell to do, wasn't expecting obviously that because I hadn't tweeted the contract address. So I thought that I would be able to do that and I just didn't know it would move so insane.
So you were saying the people that Bubble Maps said were insiders dumping. Oh, they're just randos.
Do not know them. Do not know who. I think that I saw obviously when it was all happening with my stealth launch that people decided that there had already been a rumor for the kind of like last few hours before I launched the token that it was going to be called Mother. We had a lot of discussion about that too, of like, oh, well, should we change it? People already kind of know this rumor. And I felt like I really didn't want to change that because that was my concept. And I'd already developed some memes and stuff based on that and did not want to change concept basically. And so said, fuck it, let's just go. But the picture that I used, I guess they have like AI, I don't know, like search bots or stuff that they concluded that this image wasn't anywhere else on the internet fairly quickly. And everybody started buying into it, and they had big chunks of it that I could see obviously were sniped, which freaked me out because now I'm launching a token where there's a big part of the supply and I don't know who the fuck owns it. And I don't know if you're going to rug pull it in an hour, in a week. Like I only have 3% of a supply of a token that I want to go to a blue chip that I want to go the whole way through. But I've got these randoms that have ultimate control of if the token lives or dies. Really, in my mind, I'm thinking this, and I don't know who the fuck they are. It's scary. And everybody was telling me you should not launch, don't do this one because it's tainted now essentially. And I'm like, well, I have to do what I think is the best thing to do. And in that moment, well, it was more than a few moments that I had to think about it. Ultimately, the risk of going with this token where I don't have a lot of the supply and I don't know who owns all this supply and are they going to rug pull me or what's going to happen, or launching some other thing that's not my original plan that's also not good to do because I have essentially launched this coin and it is my coin. And ultimately, obviously, I picked what I felt was the best, most honorable thing, which is stick with my original idea, pray for the fucking best, and it's out of my control. And then I don't remember, I think, was it the first day or the second day when it just, and they did that and obviously like cheated it all? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It went from like about, I want to say we were sitting around 50 million and then just started to plummet. I've never wanted to pee my pants so bad in my life, to be honest with you, because I can't control it. It's not anybody that I know. And now they're taking profit out of it at an extreme rate. I'm tanking. I don't know. Is this thing going all the way to zero? When will the bleeding stop? I'm just here like, I'm just going to die on the hill because this is my creation. And if it gets down to 100,000, then I'm here. We'll just have to go all the way up again. And it stopped around 4 million is where those wallets like were done. And then we bounced right back up again. But I have literally nothing to do with that. And wish that I wish I knew who so I could go violently shake them. But ultimately I think it's good obviously that they're out of it because everybody wants a coin that has lots of wallets with small amounts that, has a normal healthy supply. You don't ever want 5 people having all your supply. That's terrifying. As somebody that's trying to guide a coin, like 5 people could change their mind and I'm just screwed. That is terrifying. So it was probably one of the most anxiety-ridden, scary days of my life that I could tell you in recent history. I couldn't tell you anything in the last 10 years, honestly, that scared the shit out of me more than that day seeing that red just going down and down. My manager was like, are you sure that you want to keep what you have? I was like, you can't cheat on your own project just because you see it going down. If I'm going down, I'm the captain of the ship. I just have to sink with the Titanic right now. But am I going to die or am I going to live? I don't know. Is the boat sinking or is it not? It didn't sink, thank fucking God. But I've never been more terrified and didn't know, just did not know. Terrifying. In a Telegram chat, like, genuinely, your guess is as good as mine. I can't even make a call. Don't know. No clue. Still don't know. But yeah, no, never was my wallets. Do not know who the wallets are. Have not made any money yet. Hope to make.
Okay. Well, something else I have to ask you about is I'm sure you're aware that there are other celebrities who've made forays into crypto who have had encounters with the regulators. So for instance, Kim Kardashian, she had to settle with the SEC for promoting that coin. There was Floyd Mayweather, he promoted some scams. But even like, Tom Brady, Larry David, Gisele Bundchen, they got taken in by the FTX fraud. So I just wondered, like, do you have takeaways or lessons, from those experiences? And, also now that you've retained these crypto lawyers, Fenwick and West, I wondered, what else you're learning about, like, these regulatory issues.
Really the Kim Kardashian and also the whole Bored Ape situation as well. And a lot of those things are the reason why I immediately hired crypto lawyers, because I think that there are people that go out and maliciously do things that are against the law. And then there are other people that just genuinely don't know the missteps or what they've done that's wrong. And there seemed to be a lot from day one with me where I was like, I've obviously done my own research about what here is, above board and the good way to do it and what isn't. But you still get people even tweeting you while you're posting being like, oh, well, that's it, you're going to go to jail. And you're like, holy shit, did I just do something that's going to make me, was that illegal? Did I just do something wrong? I don't want to do anything wrong. So from day one, after that initial day, I was like, I've got to get a legal team on board that can guide me and help me to understand, like, what should I be doing that's going to keep me not a security? What is a security? What makes something this? What makes something not? What keeps this? What is the middle ground? What are emojis that I should never tweet or retweet? What language is not okay? Like, we had so many calls. There's 7 lawyers on the team because I have Guidepost as well as Fenwick and West, and they're all on the thing going over my Twitter every day and saying, hey, the way that you word this could be a little bit better here because this is a bit shaky, or do not, just to have somebody there guiding me through the process really put me at ease, because you see all these people tweeting you like, you're going to fucking go to jail. And you're like, I don't know, did I do it? I mean, I haven't, and not according to my lawyers. I haven't done anything that would land me in hot water as of right now, but crypto is a hot water space. I think in general, especially with like legislators and the government, especially in America. So you really want to make sure, I think for anybody that's making a meme coins, especially if you're doxxed, you probably, regardless, you should seek some legal advice before you do it. Because as much as you can find online, and I really looked as much as I can online and try to be as informed as I can, not only just like from morale, good standing, but I'm a green card holder in America. I'm not an American citizen. So I really don't ever want to do anything illegal in this country that would land me not in this country. I've been living here now for 18 years. I have a son here who's born here, who's not an Australian citizen. And kind of my number one thing at the end of the day is not to be in trouble with the law. So to have something that's so legally kind of like gray area in a lot of the concepts of what's being done in regard to like trying to read it and understand, if I do this, is that this or is that this? I can't get a full answer online. It seems very gray to me. It's good to have them to just not just have one legal opinion, but to have 7 legal opinions and say, well, I see it like it could be this and I see this. It really helps me every day to just be able to navigate and make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Or when it comes to paperwork or things like this that people can want from exchanges or road mapping or things like that, where you're like, okay, these paperwork, this is asking me things that I don't know if I'm writing the right thing on this form, making sure my lawyers go over everything like that before anything is handed in, and just to know that I'm in a sound space. I don't ever want to be in a space where I've accidentally put a foot wrong and it lands me outside of America, because this is I'm Australian, always. I will always be Australian, and I love my country, but I've lived in America since I was 16, and this is really my home and where all my friends are and where I have memories. And for me to go back to my country, or the idea of ever getting deported, I don't know how I would live, to be honest with you. It's my number one, like, fear of the worst thing could ever happen. Like, screw jail. I could not ever get kicked out of this country. So the thought of me doing anything illegal for any dollar amount, I never ever would. It would never be worth the trade-off for me. So I feel way more comfortable with that. The number one thing that they asked me when I first talked to them was the Kim Kardashian saga of, well, how much supply do you really have? I was like, really, just 3? They're like, well, do you have any other wallets? I'm like, no. Well, did you allocate yourself the tokens? No, I bought them off the free market. Oh, okay. Well, then this gets a lot more simple, And it was sort of like that initial, like, okay, she hasn't done anything fucked up yet. Congratulations. Most people. So I was very relieved. I was very scared the first meeting that I had somehow done something that I wasn't supposed to without realizing. But since then, everything's been, I don't worry about that so much, just because I rely so heavily on their advice and I follow it so much that I feel pretty confident in that. But I think that all celebrities really, I think they need to be more aware of what they're getting themselves into in regard to what you're advertising and the ramifications of that, beyond like the moral standpoint of the fact that these are real people investing their real money, and that some of those people, you can say, don't over leverage yourself as much as you want, but some people, like all gambles, some people will. And I still personally feel empathetic or responsible for those people, where I don't want to be part of something where somebody's sold their car and they never get it back because a token didn't do well. I don't want to be the reason why somebody can't send their kid to college. That weighs very heavily on me. And I think that celebrities need to think more about that when they're endorsing really any product, but particularly crypto. Like, what is your responsibility in this and what you're advertising? And what are the ramifications of what you've advertised in people's real lives? Yes, adults have to be responsible for what they do and how they spend their money, but we have to be responsible for what we're messaging to people, because people innately do feel that they can trust celebrities or look to them or admire them. And so your voice is something that, it holds more weight than just your standard commercial with some actress saying it. And I do think that they need to be more responsible for that. And in that regard, if there's a fine or something that, is going to come your way, I think that it's fair, because there has to be some regulation in regard to this market and making sure that the people that are putting all the liquidity into it are protected in some way. There does have to be more on that.
So I don't know if you saw this, because this involves a person on Twitter who keeps his tweets private, but this was a crypto Twitter discussion between Ansem and then somebody who goes by Kobe. His name is Jordan Fish. And he said to Ansem, if celebs want to get into crypto, then they should put their money where their mouth is and buy coins like the rest of us. That's what being in crypto is. And he was basically criticizing like a celeb like you launching a meme coin or a celeb coin. So what is your response to his criticism?
Well, I feel two ways about it. I understand what he's saying in regard to that, because a lot of the time with celebrity coins, it's people that want to come in, they want to tweet a contract address, and then they want to try to extract liquidity, right? And there's not really a lot of effort. There's not really any work. They're not really developing community. They're not really like growing a coin or their token the way that they should, in a way that doesn't end up at zero, right? So I do understand that in regard to, if your only interest in crypto is to launch a token and have one for a month and take all your money from it, and that's the way you're integrating into a space, I don't think that you should be doing that. I agree. For me, at least, I will say I would have loved to have traded some meme coins or had a deeper understanding, but I just didn't get that grace. Unfortunately, it's just not the way that the cards fell for me. And I'm trying as much as I can. Obviously, I do trade meme coins, but I'm not going to tell people what they are and soft shill them because I can't. I have to be fair. But there are a lot of, I trade. I have coins and I have a wallet and I have things that I like and I'm looking and I enjoy the whole world of that. But beyond that, like I said, I've got my venture capital company that we're developing at the moment with Joe McCann, and I want to get involved in doing other things in the space that I think benefit the space. I genuinely have an interest in the space. And in that regard, it's like, I don't know that 100% necessarily applies to me, although I do think it does a little. It could be a fair criticism, but it's not really something that I could control in that regard. But I get it. I get it. And I do say it actually to a lot of celebrities that come my way and will say to me, well, I want to launch a token. Like, what is it? How do I do it? How do I get money from it? And I actually say the same thing that he's saying, which is I think the cooler thing would be if instead of you saying, guys, tell me some cool meme coins, and then 2 days later you have a fucking coin, it would be cool if you just got into the space, even just privately on your own, and like navigated your way around it enough that you can form your own opinion about it and see what you think works or not on your own without people coming with opinions that can be malicious or to try to work with you or persuade you. I think it would be a more organic way, just even privately, to learn about the space. And I think what he's saying is more about, don't come into the community and extract liquidity from a community and then say that's you getting into a community, because it's not. And I do agree with that and understand that. And so for me, it's just like, I get it. But do all I can do to not be that, but I can't undo the fact that I only have one opportunity to really get into a space. Also, I will say, if I were going to be the yang to that yin, you know what I mean? You don't get to dictate how people enter communities at the end of the way, or put like a stamp on someone because they're famous. They can't. That's like music. We can't say that you have to have this or that to become a musician or to enter into the space. You just do in whatever way feels organic to you. I think anybody can enter crypto in any way, whether you're a celebrity or not. If you want to enter and launch a meme coin and that's your entry point, I guess that's your prerogative. I don't think it's harmful as long as you're not just trying to extract liquidity. As long as you are trying to build in the space, I think that it doesn't really matter what your entry point is. I think more so what it's about is how genuine is it, and can you bring anything of value to the space without taking away, or to balance, at least neutralize that. But I don't think that we get to say how anyone enters a space. There's a lot of that in hip hop as well, where it'll be like, well, to do hip hop, you need to rap battle people first and win that, and then you do this. And it's like, well, it's a digital age. That's the thing, isn't it? It's a free market. People can enter however they want. That's the good and the bad of it, I suppose, depending on what your perception is. And I think it's best to keep it that people can enter however the hell they damn well please. But I just hope that if you're entering a community, that it's to be part of it and not just to take from it.
So my next question for you was going to be about which coins you liked, but you just kind of said you didn't want to say. I don't know if, I've seen you
I don't like things people say, because it's like, fuck, everyone's always like, don't shill, you're shilling, or did they tell you to say that, or you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, I will say one coin I do really like that I think is going to go nuts, especially for this cycle. Mog. Come on. I love that meme. I want the mog. I want the Pit Viper glasses. Like, I've thought about it a lot. I'm not going to lie. Like, I want to wear the Pit Vipers. I think it's an amazing meme. I love that cat with those fucking glasses. I do. But I just think like it's so memeable. It's so good. If I had to say like what is my favorite right now that I think is like a quality meme that can work in like Web 2 land, it can transfer itself, what do I really like? What's one I see that I would put my money on? I like Mog. I think Mog is great. Yeah.
And yeah. And you have tweeted positive things about Solana. And I was curious, you're famous for that quote about the Ethereum gas tax. Like, could you talk
Yeah.
about Ethereum versus Solana for a sec?
Yeah, I had to jump into it because it just happened. And then the next day I was on the podcast. I'm like, I'm just going to like stir the pot and be the dumb blonde. You know what I mean? Like, it's I'll have to be, that character has always worked for me in the past, and it works in attention economy. So, I did what I did. I did what I did. Sometimes I just go with shit and don't think too much about it.
But do you have an opinion on Ethereum versus Solana?
Well, they're two completely different blockchains. We did speak a little bit about that earlier, honestly, but I'll talk about it a little bit more now. I really think that Solana just seems like it's more, I think it's a chain that it's different. It's entirely different to Ethereum. You know what I mean? Like, yes, Ethereum has its NFTs or its other entertainment-based projects, obviously, and it has that side of it culturally. Like, we're not going to say that it doesn't, or that hasn't been one of the main things that people talked about all 2021 was all on Ethereum as a chain. I get that, but I think that right now what Solana's doing is more, the numbers are there. It's more culturally impactful now in that like segment of things. For whatever people be like, it's fast, it's cheap, it's this, it's that, cool. But I don't really want to compare the two things. I think they're both necessary. Ethereum will always be there. Ethereum will always be great. And I don't know, I know that I've kind of like pigeonholed myself into the like Solana versus Ethereum thing, but for me, it really isn't. I think they both just, one seems to have branded itself, Solana, as the hot new shit that's kind of almost like we do meme coins and we're degen and fuck you guys, you're all old and serious. And then Ethereum's been accidentally maybe branded as like, oh, you're the old gatekeepers. And I don't really want to buy into that. I don't know. I don't really think any of that is the case. I think they both have a good balance of both those things. I hope to be a part of more of the development of those sorts of projects on Solana, even though I won't be the one developing them. But I mean, like identifying and bringing liquidity through VCs or other things to help build out those other, projects in Solana that maybe aren't meme coin based, so that it can be stronger as a token. But I love that it's a mover in that regard in pop culture. That's what made it catch my eye, honestly. And so, yeah, I just think they're two different things in two different stages of life right now, and both are needed for it to be an ecosystem,
Okay, so last question. You said that you have this fund coming up. You have Mother Knows Best podcast coming up. But I did also read that you're helping to onboard celebrities in a crypto. Can you tell us more about that and your future plans generally?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to. It's hard, first of all. I'd love to onboard celebrities. Ultimately, what I would love to do is I would love to find a way that we can really integrate on a large scale, say, for example, someone like a Live Nation that has some inbuilt functionality, almost like how Pump Fun, you can make a token and launch it or whatever. Like, I'd love something integrated like that that's maybe more culturally celebrity based, or that's with someone like a Live Nation where there's some kind of almost like trustability or core to the business that makes it structurally sort of like run almost like a record label can. I really want to, and still am developing like ideas like that of how we can do it. I don't think like just approaching celebrities for a token to token basis can work. And a lot have approached me about it. Some have meme coins out now. The biggest roadblock there for me has been like, okay, they want to do it, but what are they integrating it with? How does it have utility? What is the point of it beyond, kind of like Vitalik said, just making money to make money, or just being famous to be famous in this? Like, what does it bring to the space? I'd personally see, my vision for it is for it to be integrated more into their fan culture, tokens that give first access to meet and greets, specialty merch at shows, be able to buy tickets at a discount. There are many ways I think you can culturally integrate, especially with musicians, a meme token in their name into something that's functional or interesting to their already existing fan base. But I think there are some things that we need to have that are a bit more developed. For example, like things like tip link, or I know, I think is it Uphold, the CX that has, you can have a Google address and trade through a wallet like that too. Like, I think probably something like that, maybe that's like in conjunction with someone like a Live Nation. Like, there needs to be more onboarding structurally for it to really work properly. And I'd see it more so as something like a Live Nation that already has people touring and signed to them, that maybe they can sort of like funnel through that. But I don't think that celebrity to celebrity, meme token to meme token on an individual basis will ever work. I'd love to be involved in it so that I could have an automatic airdrop to everybody on Mother. That would be what I'd like, from it. And also I'd love just to be part of it, because I think it's a missed opportunity for both parties when it doesn't work properly. I just think it'd be so interesting and cool, but we're having conversations all the time with these sorts of like big players and also with different tech startups already in the space about how can we white label this or make it work for this, or what can we do here? Still trying to figure out those like key structural components for how it could work. And I do have about 3 big celebrities, much more famous than I am right now, that want to be onboarded into that process. And then there are a lot of other people that kind of approach me and say, can you do this? Can you co-sign this? Can you show me how I did this? How did you get all the money? And then when I tell them I haven't made any yet, it's kind of like, bye. They don't want to do it, and then I'll see them pop up and it's like, oh, you and Bach brothers have a coin. Got it. And a week later, it's not a coin. Got it. Okay. So it's like, I'd love to be able to onboard celebrities. It's something I really want to do to see it done right. But I think that I'm probably at least 6 months away from being able to really start that process, because there just structurally needs to be things more developed than what they are right now to facilitate that properly in a way that works for both parties in regard to, okay, there has to be some way that they're benefiting from this in regard to they want to promote and they want to get paid, but how does it stay as a maintainable token? How does it have utility? How is it interesting? How is it not just taking people from the crypto space and utilizing them and their liquidity instead of onboarding your own actual fans? How do you easily onboard your own actual fans? How does that become appealing to them beyond getting them into crypto and memes, or getting them into that? Like, how do they just buy into you and still buy into the space? Like, there's a lot that needs to be developed, or that I'm still part of figuring out. But yeah, I would love to be a pivotal part, or at least, if nothing more, a roadmap for how it can work and what to do that could be the right way to do it. We'll see. Like I said, yes, my coin's market cap is nowhere near its all-time high right now. So I have a lot of work to do to make that roadmap make sense. Maybe I'll be able to say that I am that 6 months from now or a year from now. I'd love to be at least proof that it can be done right. And at best, my dream of dreams, if I could be part of how to structurally make that happen on a fundamental level and help to make that something culturally that helps the space overall, that would be my dream end goal.
All right. Well, Iggy, this has been an amazing conversation. I've so enjoyed it. Where can people learn more about? Sorry, what?
I said it's nice to talk to a girl. It's always nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I know. Well, this has been my life for the last 9 years, so I definitely know what it's like to
crypto. Let's talk. Yes, I have time. Ask all the questions.
Yeah.
But you guys can reach me on my Telegram channel or just on my X. It's Iggy Azalea. It's super simple, and I've got my link tree in there with all the chat rooms for Mother and ways that you can talk to me and that you can listen to my funny, ridiculous voice notes and things like that. But yeah, if nothing less, you will be entertained.
Great. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on Unchained.
Thank you. It's been awesome talking.
Thanks so much for joining us today. To learn more about Iggy and her journey in crypto and Mother, check out the show notes for this episode. Unchained is produced by me, Laura Shin, with help from Matt Pilchard, Juan Romanovich, Megan Gavis, Pamela Jumdar, and Margaret Correa. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. Bye, guys.
Unchained is now a part of the CoinDesk Podcast Network. For the latest in digital assets, check out Markets Daily, 5 days a week, with host Noel Atchison. Follow the CoinDesk Podcast Network for some of the best shows in crypto.